Hi, I'm Bob Abbott at Alarca Realty, where since 2005, we've been innovating industry-leading practices that guarantee happiness through every step of the property management process. And today we're going to talk about how to rent your home during the COVID-19 crisis. So we're shooting this video in mid-May of 2020, and it's been about 2 months into the crisis in the U.S. And fortunately, in Charlotte, the demand for single-family homes continues to be strong. We are having a few problems renting condos with elevators or tight quarters, which is somewhat understandable given the nature of these properties. So if you do have a condo or an apartment that's in a high-rise, you really want to understand the market and make sure you're checking out market trends and rents in order to entice tenants to rent your property. Additionally, you're going to want to make sure you use contactless showings or self-showings to show your property. You don't want to be meeting clients or tenants at the property. You don't want them to have to worry about their safety. These types of showings have been in use for years in the Charlotte marketplace, and frankly, tenants are becoming more and more demanding for these types of showings. It's just much more convenient for them, and it's a much better process for them to be able to view the home. You're also going to want to make sure the property is in rent-ready condition and meets all the local code requirements, rules, and laws for rental properties. This includes items such as smoke detectors, CO alarms. Sometimes weather stripping is an issue. You're going to want to make sure all the plumbing's in good shape and the paint's in good enough condition to attract a high-quality tenant so that when they see the home and you're not there to point things out, they're happy with the property. Also, you're going to want to thoroughly document the condition of the property with photos or videos of each room. If you can use 360 photos, that's a great way to document the condition and make sure that the property is in good shape and you've got what you need down the road when the tenant moves out. Additionally, thorough screening has always been important, but during COVID, it's even more so. This is because you really want to make sure you've got proper revenue sources for the tenant. They've got secure employment, they've got the savings, they've got good credit. They need to be able to weather the storm should this come back or should this long laster than expected. This is particularly important when you can't file evictions during a shutdown, such as we have going on right now. Throughout the screening process, it's super important to follow all the fair housing laws. Often individual homeowners don't understand all these laws. Make sure that you're not violating any of the fair housing laws in terms of discrimination or other issues such as assistance animals or service animals. Once the tenant is identified, you want to make sure you've got a lease that is in line with all the current laws, rules, and regulations. Unfortunately, many of the online leases that we see don't have the latest rules in place. For example, one of the most common issues we see, the late fees in the online leases don't meet state laws. Additionally, these leases are often very brief and don't include all the protections that a good property management firm's lease will include for you, particularly regarding maintenance, property assessments, inspections, how to get access to the home, and things like that. You also want to make sure the lease doesn't have things in it that will infringe upon the tenant's rights, such as unannounced visits and those types of things. Now that you've got the tenant placed and they're in the home, it's time to collect the rent. There's no need in today's world to go collect rent face-to-face, get cash, get checks. Please allow your tenants to pay online or go to the local Walmart or Cash Express store and pay their rent, and they can get access to pay the rent where you get credit immediately and they don't have access into your bank account information. Also, you want to make sure you've got thorough maintenance systems in place. It's super important that you've got trusted, reliable, licensed, and insured vendors to go into these properties. Particularly during COVID-19, you want to make sure that the safety and habitability items are being taken care of, but that your vendors and your tenants are protected. You may want to postpone some cosmetic type or non-emergency type items until it's a safer time to do so. If you've got all these processes and systems in place, 95% of the time you're going to be in great shape. However, there are going to be times when a tenant can't pay the rent, unforeseen things happen, or sometimes tenants simply want to take advantage of the landlord. So you need to be prepared to go to court. Make sure you've got all your documentation in place. Make sure it's thorough. You want to back it up with photos. You want to have emails. Follow up all of your phone calls with the email so you have documentation. Save receipts for any of the work. Save receipts for the tenant rent payment. And make sure you've got the proper documentation of the property's condition. All of this may sound like a lot, but frankly, it's a normal day in the life of a professional property manager. We know that individuals can successfully manage homes themselves, but if this seems like too much for you, or you're worried about infringing upon tenants' rights or following all the laws, please reach out and contact us at support@alarca.com or 704-900-3354.